The Russo brothers are coming back! Let's talk about these latest rumors. So this really big news, which you may have heard of by now, is being reported on by the likes of Deadline and The Hollywood Reporter. So it's not coming from very loose sources. It's not even coming from independent reporters. No, this is being said by these big corporations. And if you guys aren't aware of what these rumors are, essentially the gist of it is that the Russo brothers are reportedly being brought back into Marvel Studios to help on quote-unquote various fronts on top of Avengers 5 and Avengers Secret Wars. However, the priority are the Avengers movies taking the main stage, and they are in early talks of directing both of the Avengers sequels as well. So this is big news. So not only are they coming back to direct the next two Avengers films, which one of them was meant to be Kang Dynasty. We don't know if it will be anymore according to latest reports, and they are going to be directing Avengers Secret Wars. I'm surprised really this hasn't happened sooner. Just on the front of them directing the next two Avengers movies, I know there's a bunch of other stuff that we do need to cover and talk about as well, but just quickly staying on the topic of them just directing the next Avengers movies, I am really surprised that this didn't come about sooner, especially after Phase 4 started to sort of fall apart. The fans maybe started to turn on some of the projects, most notably Ant-Man Quantumania, She-Hulk in recent times as well. A lot of people have gone back, rewatched the likes of WandaVision and said maybe they weren't up to the quality that they probably should have been, etc. And I'm surprised at that point they didn't go, hey, wait a second, let's make sure the next Avengers movies are the best that they can be after all of these poor reviews. Let's bring the Russo brothers back. I'm surprised that didn't happen sooner. However, it looks like not only are they going to be potentially directing the next Avengers movies, they are going to be brought back on quote-unquote various fronts in Marvel Studios that then leads up to the next two Avengers movies. This is really exciting. Now, the first question that people are going to be asking is, does this mean potentially the Russos are going to be directing some other films, not just the Avengers films like they did in phases 2 and 3 with the Captain America movies? The likelihood is probably not. However, what this probably means, now I'm completely theorizing here, so don't take this as gospel, but my theory here is that they are probably going to come into Marvel Studios, they are probably going to say, hey, Kevin Feige and producers, Disney, whoever, this is what we are going to do with the Avengers movies, and this is how we're going to make them good. And then they're going to backlog what they need to do in the movies leading up to then to make that story happen. And essentially, I imagine the Russos, probably along with Kevin Feige, will oversee the movies that it takes to lead up to the likes of Avengers 5 and Avengers Secret Wars, if that makes sense. So I see the Russos potentially in a more of a producer role, if anything, overviewing kind of the films leading up to the next two Avengers movies, rather than directing any of the movies themselves. And it's not out the realms of possibility that this could be the case. We've seen James Gunn do this in the MCU as well with the Avengers movies that led up to, obviously, Guardians 3. James Gunn did have a say on what happened to his characters in Infinity War and Endgame. We know he went over and did a lot of the revisions to the script in terms of the Guardians' dialogue. We also know that he had a say on what happened to Gamora, and obviously that influenced his next film, Guardians 3, as well. So this type of thing has happened before, and if this report is true, if the Russo brothers are potentially coming back to Marvel Studios, I imagine, and in my heart, this is exactly what I think will be the case. Now, the next question that people will have is that if the Russos are coming back, does that mean that Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely will be coming back to write the scripts for Avengers 5 and Avengers 6? We simply don't know. We know Michael Waldron isn't going to be writing Avengers 5 anymore, so there is a good chance potentially that them two could also come back. We know that they've worked very well with the Russos over Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame as the main highlights of Phase 3, and sometimes it's even hard to imagine what those movies would have been like without the two writers on top of the Russos as well, working all together cohesively. So I do imagine potentially they might be talking to them to come come back as well, but we just don't know. But if this report is true, that would be absolutely awesome. If you guys have been following me for a while, you'll know that I haven't really been too impressed with Marvel Studios and the MCU, and I imagine a lot of you guys haven't either. So this would be absolutely awesome if we could get the Russos back, but that is a big if. This isn't nailed down. We have to remember this is only a report and a rumor at this moment in time. Nothing has been concrete or confirmed. But let me know in the comment section down below, do you want to see the Russos return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, specifically to direct Avengers 5 and Avengers Secret Wars? I want to hear all of your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Make sure to join the channel and join this community by hitting that subscribe button, like the video. Here's some more videos on the screen that you can watch if you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.